Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again to Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. Bright, sunny, and hot Frederick, Colorado today. My name's Mark Love, and today I'm going to be talking about a real gem we've got on a used coach here. This is a 2018 Ventana LE. It's the 3436 model. Stock number on this one is 5U211134. And while we're right here, let me just show you what we've got under the hood up front here. Being a diesel pusher, of course, the engine's in the back. You see we do have our 8,000 watt generator. You've got a air chuck here. There is a air compressor on there, so for filling up tires or for your toys, that's real handy. Easy access to your coolant, your windshield wiper fluids, anything you'd need to get to here. And if you look over on the right, you see the two big air horns. You let the people know you're coming with those. This unit, the Ventana LE, they actually have changed that to the Country Star now. So it's on a 340 horse since it's only a 34-foot model, and it's built on the XCR chassis. And again, a couple years back, they changed the name, went back to the Country Star to kind of differentiate between the Ventanas and the Ventana LE models. This unit has a 31,000 pound gross weight, 31.6 I think it is, and you're about 26,500 empty. That leaves between 45 to 5,000 pounds cargo capacity on this, and you have a 10,000 pound tow capacity. I'm going to walk around the outside first, and then we'll go inside, show you the floor plan. As we come down here, a few things that I always like to point out when it's convenient. Right here, if you can hear, we've got a steel plate, and what that's doing is protecting your fuel line. Most companies, you'll see the rubber fuel line go into the tank right there, but Newmar protects it with a steel plate. If you shred a tire, it can tear up things under there, so it's nice to know you've got that protection. You don't have to worry about damaging your fuel system there. Let's walk down here. First of all, nice awning. You've got one for the door, you've got one for the coach. Sun's still a little low, so I'm not getting much shade from it right now, but it's always nice to have these awnings. We look in here, this first compartment, just a storage compartment. But one thing I noticed when I was looking at this, you've got the Tyron wrench and the Tyron package there. Tyron is a inner ring that goes on your front tires, and it allows them to run flat if you have a blowout and not lose control of the coach. So if you're going 70 miles an hour down the highway, you happen to hit something or blow a tire, it's not going to pull you right over into that other lane or off the road. It's going to allow you to safely come to a stop without, jerking you one way or another. So that's a nice little bonus feature. By the way, this unit has a little under 7,000 miles on it, and it's in great shape. This is a beautiful used coach. Moving back here, you can see your pass-through storage. Now the XCR is not the raised rail chassis, so your storage compartments aren't as big as, say, a Dutch Star. But one of the things I'd like to point out, another thing, you can see it over here, is that crossbeam member. Basically this is part of your Star foundation, and it may be hard to see, but if you look up there where your floor joists are, you notice they're not sitting on the main chassis rails. That's one of the beauty of the Newmar product. They build a stronger foundation. They add the Star foundation to the chassis, and it keeps the whole coach a lot more stable. When you're going down the road, you won't have the tweaking and the twisting in the chassis. You know, those that have tile, you're not going to pop grouts. This one has a laminate flooring. But your cabinets, everything in time, they just don't fall apart like they will on some of the other ones. And a big part of that is due to the Star Foundation. Also, you've got some components in there for your slide outs. If you should have a slide that's not working, you can unplug that, kind of like resetting your computer. Everything's easy to access. Over here, there is a water tank or a component behind here, so they put the pegboard in, and you can see the previous owner, he was getting ready to load all of his tools in, but it doesn't look like they used it very much. Back in this compartment, a little bit of storage there. And then over here we have our chassis batteries and our master disconnect. So one of the things I do want to point out, as long as I'm here, just to be fair, not everybody's a great driver, and this one does have a little bit of a scuff. You can see it right here. And it goes down to this compartment. Most of this is going to be able to be buffed out, but not all of it. We're not damaged. We didn't, you know, go through the paint, but we do have a body shop. That's something, if you're concerned about having a brand new looking coach, we can make it new. Some people will say, I'll take it as is and save the money. But I did want to, you know, point that out. It's something you'll notice if you do come to look at it. Let's move around back. First of all, a ladder. You don't see that very often on the diesel pushers. Most of them, you have to carry your own ladder if you want to get on the roof. So that's kind of a nice feature. Let's look in here, and of course with the 340, this is a 6.7 liter, 340 horse engine. They all have a rear radiator. So you can't see the engine, but you've got your oil fill, your engine oil dipstick, your transmission dipstick and fill, coolant fill here. You've got your pressure gauge. This tells you when your air cleaner is getting dirty. And I don't think, you know, I drove this over here. I've ever had one where I push that button and it doesn't drop down. This air cleaner is not dirty at all. It really didn't get much use. I don't know why, but everything is in great shape and extremely clean on this unit. We do have the standard 2-inch hitch with the 7-prong electrical there. This is rated at 10,000 pounds, and we are running about 750 foot-pounds of torque here. Now you might say that doesn't sound like a lot, and for a diesel pusher, it certainly isn't. But when you compare it to maybe 420 to 460 foot-pounds of torque on a gas coach and a 5,000 pound tow rating, the reason people look for these small engine diesels is to get that torque. So when you're going up Eisenhower Pass or Vale Pass or a long hill, you've got the power to pull that Jeep you've got hooked up behind you up that hill without slowing down to 35 miles an hour like you may on a gas coach. This diesel, it's really not more expensive than what you might find on a very high-end gas coach. And at it's 34 feet 10 inches overall with a full wall slide and then 2 other slides. It does give you some nice room. So if you're in the market for, you know, a gas coach, but you'd like to have something with a little more power, this might be a good option for you. It's no longer than what you would be getting, say, in a Baystar or something like that. All right, let's move around. This compartment, and again, this is kind of proof that it barely got used. That's a nice heavy-duty sewer hose, and I don't see that it's ever been used. Again, I think it's 6,970 miles on this, roughly. You do have a plug here This is for your engine preheat. If you were to fire up your generator, provide 110 power to the coach, plug this in, you can preheat your engine off your generator. This compartment's got our 50 amp power cord, and it's also got your crossover switch with a built-in surge protector, so it kind of protects you from maybe low voltage at an RV park or a lightning strike, something like that. And right here you do have an input if you're using a portable satellite, or say you pull into an old-fashioned RV park that's got cable TV hooked up into it. You can bring it in right there. This is where you put your DEF in, the diesel emission fluid, and it only has one place to fill it. A lot of the newer or larger models will have it on both sides. But again, in an entry-level diesel, they do things to help keep the cost down. So you've only got one DEF fill right here. That little compartment is just another storage compartment. You might want to keep your gloves or oil or tools or something like that in there. You know, while we're here, Jody, let's see if we can get a shot of the V-Ride in here. Back in that chassis, you can see the V-Rod assembly, and at the bottom, there is an adjustment nut. So if a chassis shop needs to do a slight adjustment on this, it's easy to get to. And your V-Ride again, and credit Freightliner for that, it's a system that ties in your rear axles, your chassis, rails, with an assembly that's got heavy-duty airbags. It provides roll stability. So when you're going down the road behind a motorhome and you see one that really tips around a corner, you're not going to have that with a unit like this. The V-Ride is a great component to help give you a more stable ride. When we get inside, I'll talk about the comfort drive also. That's another great component. Here we've got our water compartment. As you can see, there's a whole house filter there. That's your sewer drain. You do have your hot and cold low point drains here, sewer rinse, city fill, and you can power fill this tank or run off your city water. Outside shower over here. Everything's really convenient and nicely done. Again, this is not what I would call a high-end diesel, but it's really well built, well thought out. Everything is convenient, easy to get to, and not hard to understand at all. Over here we've got one of our pass-through compartments. And I see they've got a few extra things. Those seem to be screens. Not sure what they're for, but we'll figure that out for you. And then on this one, we've got our propane and our 6-volt AGM batteries. So if you are dry camping, this will provide a lot of power. It's not something you're going to run your AC off your inverter with. You've got the generator for that, but plenty of power and a nice big propane tank. It does have the propane cook surface, water heater, and furnace. But you know, sometimes the old tried and true technology is the way to go. And one last compartment here. What we have here, most of these are chassis circuits and fuses. So if you've got a blinker or something that's not working, you can come down here, figure out which one it is. You got replacement fuses right here. And then one other thing I'll point out, you do have a fuel fill on this side. So you can put fuel in it from either side, DEF only from the driver's side. All right, well, let's go around inside and take a look at the floor plan. Why don't you head in first, and I'm going to shut the door and fire up the generator, get that AC going. Okay. It's in beautiful shape. This is the sienna maple wood, and what do they call this? This interior. They don't make it anymore, but it's the Armory. The Armory graphics, the Armory interior. And while we're right here, I want to show you a few things on the dash. First of all, I want to get my generator going. We're going to get our AC on in a minute. So all of these 2017, 2018, everything like that is going to have a comfort drive steering setup. And I want to kind of show you that right now. Let me get it on. Comfort Drive is a computer-assisted steering mechanism that senses the torque on your tires. You might have a crown on the road or a strong crosswind, and you're fighting it to keep it in the middle of the road. With your Comfort Drive, it's constantly correcting to keep you in the middle of the road. So we don't have our levelers down. All of the weight is on the front tires right now. I can turn this all the way, and when I let go, it comes back to the center position every time. The beauty about that is when you're driving, you're really only driving it one way, and then the Comfort Drive brings it back to center for you. On a long drive, it's not nearly as stressful on your arms and on your shoulders. You do have an adjustment knob here. If I'm typically I'm 3.5, 4, for everyday driving. If I'm going into an RV park, I might want to set it on 1 and, turn it like the Cadillac with one finger. And then when I get to where I'm going backing in, I just let go, it comes back to center. If I'm on the highway at higher speeds, I'm probably turning this up to 5 or 6. It tightens up the steering a little bit. You still have the same control. It returns to center for you, but it just tightens up the steering wheel a little bit. So that's really a nice feature. And as you can see, we've got our Voyager. You do have navigation on this. It is a 3-way camera. When I put a blinker on, I can see down that side. And you can scroll through this and set it up to have all of the cameras on at once. It'll default to the backup monitor if you don't choose that. Whenever you put it in reverse, it'll automatically show you this view whether you've got it on or not. Let me shut that off. And then very simple controls here. Well, it might be easier to see. Over on this side, you do have an engine brake. And this is just a single speed engine brake on this one. Your battery boost, that's great if you have come out and your chassis battery's having a hard time starting. I can hit this, you're pooling your house and your chassis batteries. Now it makes it easier to start up. And then your light switches here. On this side, you do have your Allison 6-speed transmission and your equalizer leveler system. And again, I hate to call this old school technology because it's really not, but it's not the multiplex wiring. This has got regular light switches, but this is so simple, so easy to understand, and so simple to use. I think anybody could jump in this diesel, even if you've never driven a motorhome, and not have any problem at all, especially at 34 feet 10 inches. You don't have a lot of swing out from your tail. You're not going to be running into things as you go down the road. Over here we do have our visors. There's a day visor, and if the engine's on, that's going to only come down so far. They don't want you to blind yourself as you're going down the road. And then you do have the night visor, the blackout. Comes all the way down, gives you a little privacy at night. You've got the same things over here, but these are manual. Your screen if the sun's coming in, and then your full blackout. Have it on both passenger and driver side. All right. So let's take a look at what we've got for a floor plan here. First of all, this is a full wall slide. It goes all the way to the back of the bedroom there, right in front of your closet. You do have a pull-out couch here, so you've got an extra sleeper on this side. And again, These aren't worn. They're not sat in very much. Usually your driver's seat will show the most wear. This coach, you know, it's almost pristine. They did not put a lot of miles on this. Got some nice storage cabinets here. And again, I've pointed out before, the way Newmar builds their cabinets, this is all solid wood. You don't have a wrapped style in here. You know, mitered corners, just beautiful cabinet work. And I like the way they kind of give it a little offset here to give you a little design aspect. It's not just a flat bank of cabinets. And over here we've got a nice large storage cabinet in your kitchen. In your kitchen here, good counter space. This is, like I said, the propane 3-burner, and it is the sealed burner stove. The nice thing about that is you don't get food underneath there. When you're cleaning it, it's much easier. You can see how the you know, sealed burner here kind of covers up everything down below. And actually, I still prefer to cook over propane. You can adjust your temperatures better. You do have a convection microwave. And again, very good proof that this got hardly any use at all. I don't think that's ever been used. We have some storage here underneath. You can actually access it from 2 sides. So not extremely deep. This isn't as tall as some of the bigger models, but you've got room to get a small trash can under there. You got a couple of nice pull-out drawers here. And then 3 very large storage drawers here. You do get touch-up paint. Probably not enough to take care of what we've got outside. You know, the wrench for your water filter. This is a whole house water filter. Let's turn around and look over on this side. Across from your kitchen and your couch, we have our dinette and our TV. Excuse me. So this is a booth dinette, and you actually have a couple of leaves here. And this pulls out quite a ways, and there's actually another support. Get it out far enough. There's another support leg there. So with the fold-out chairs that are under the bed with matching fabric, you can get 6 people here quite easily, and one on the end. You know, if you've got the whole family and it's bad weather, you can all come inside and eat. Plenty of room here. And let me get that lined up right. Well, there we are. Just had to get her lined up. We do have some storage underneath. Nice pull-out drawers on both sides of the dinette. Now, this dinette does not convert to a sleeper, anybody that might be wondering. Typically in your diesels, you don't find that feature. Right here's your TV. You've got 3 more nice storage drawers here. Boy, those latches are tight. So lots of room. And then you've got another little cabinet area here. They put a couple of shelves in for you. And then overhead here, you can see that it is set up with a satellite, and has your DVD and everything. All your TV and video components come in through this cabinet. Another thing about this floor plan, these seats pivot, and when you swing this seat around, it's almost in perfect position to watch TV. You know, you've got seating for 7 or 8 people right in this nice living room area. Another thing, as long as we're here, I'm going to point out that I don't do a lot. Newmar puts a decorative ceiling, and we're covering up our air conditioning ducts. You can see right here. Number one, not only does it look nicer, but the way they do their AC right down the center of the coach, if you're in Texas in July, you might want to run your generator and put your roof ACs on to keep it cooler back here. This way, it's running right down the middle, so when these slides are in, you're not blowing over the slide toppers. It's coming right down in the coach where you want it. And also, that's ductwork in there. It's not just channeled out of styrofoam. It's a more efficient system. You have 2 ACs, one here, one back in the bedroom. Let's move back a little bit farther. Here's our refrigerator, and this is an electric residential refrigerator. That's why there was 6 batteries outside. 4 would be standard, but when you get some electric components in it, 6 tells me it's an electric refrigerator. If you get the induction cook surface, you'd have 8 batteries out there. This is our bathroom, and it is only a single bathroom. I'm going to let you step in there by yourself. I don't need to climb in the shower or anything. But it is a nice, solid, one-piece fiberglass surround in that shower. We got good countertop space around your sink. And you can see the drawers and the cabinets and the medicine chest there. Plenty of room. Now, you know, coaches like this probably designed more for 2 or 3 people. You know, you don't have a lot of sleeping and it's not that big, but there's plenty of storage space throughout this coach, and that always is a premium when you're traveling in an RV. Okay, back here as we move into the bedroom, first of all, we've got a big pantry area. And then above here, we have another little storage area. They utilize every place they can to put storage in there for you. Back here in the bedroom, again, some nice overhead storage. And again, you've got some of your video components right here for your bedroom TV. We have a couple of nice deep drawers on this level, and then 2 more up on this level. And then back here, again, some more storage space with a couple of shelves. Boy, you can really feel that air conditioning coming down. It's cooling down fast. You barely hear the generator at all. We have a queen bed in this model. Functioning windows on both sides, and you notice there's a pedestal with a 110 outlet and a couple of USB ports. That's nice if you've got a sleep machine or something at night. You've got somewhere to put it. And then under here, you can see we have storage. Here's a couple of our leafs. They give you a couple of extra floor tiles there. And then in the closet here, I'll let you get back there, but you can see there's a couple of folding chairs. And then of course right here, you have your washer and dryer. And it is the stackable Splendide. So much nicer than the combination unit. Another thing, I don't know if you can get back here again, Jody, and point out, but I like this hatch right here because if you notice, you've got your shutoffs for your hot and cold water for the washer. If you happen to see water or think there's a leak or something, you don't have to shut off the water for the whole coach. You can turn it off right there. Oops, I think you kind of bumped that switch. And again, I was talking about it. Get a shot of these as long as you're here. These are just regular light switches. It's not the multiplex panel. And if you have a Silverleaf panel or one of the other ones, and there's a problem, it can mess with the whole coach. These are just like house switches. They're easy to replace if needed. You know, nice solid wood privacy door. And again, everything's tight. One of the things I like about the Newmars, you don't get the jiggling as you go down the road because of that star foundation, because of the V-ride. It's a smoother ride. With your comfort drive, it's more comfortable to drive. So great setup. I think that's about it. I'll think of something as soon as we're done here, but I did not bring my contact information. I had to kind of start this video earlier than I normally would, and I guess I forgot it, so let me give that to you. Again, my name's Mark Love, and best way to get a hold of me is to text or call me on my cell. That number is 970-631-0083. You can email me at mlove, L-O-V-E, at transwest.com. And I encourage you, if you guys are considering maybe getting a higher end gas, think about this diesel. You know, it's got everything you'd want, plus more, better power with it, and just a really nice, even though it's considered a 4-year-old coach now, there's only barely 7,000 miles on it. It's going to make somebody a great unit this summer. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Like always, folks, happy trails. Drive safe when you're out there. Give me a call if there's anything I can do to help.